All right, welcome back. Aaron Rift here, along with good old JM Jeff Meacham. Now we're going to talk about...
You do the epic intro for every segment.
By the way, just be careful here. Please do not knock over my diet soda.
I will not.
You know, you're waving your hand around here. You're scaring me.
Sorry.
Anyways, now we're going to talk about our most overrated WrestleMania matches. Matches that either WWE or the fans give a ton of hype to, but we really don't feel that they quite deserve... the accolation that they get.
Okay.
So let's start off here. You want to go first this time?
I'll go first this time. 5? I'm going to piss the world off right off the bat, and I don't care who gets mad at me. Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3.
Uh-oh.
And I'll tell you, and you know, people, it is a great match, but, you know, I always tend to go back and watch the Ric Flair DVD. And I watch the Ricky Steamboat DVD. And both of them say that as good as the match was with Steamboat and Savage, at the end of the day, Randy had them rehearse it over and over and over until everything was spot on. You couldn't miss a mark if you freaking tried. And I'm of the belief, having been involved in the aspects I've been involved in the last, what, it's been 15 years almost now, the best matches are called as you go, on the fly, and for it to be rehearsed almost makes it seem less impactful to me. Much like Hulk and Savage WrestleMania 5, which is also on my list here.
Right.
Both of those matches were mapped out, step by step, piece by piece, because Randy was such a perfectionist. And credit to him for that. I'm not discrediting Randy Savage for that. But for me, the best matches are the ones that, you know, if things change in the ring, you kind of go with it and see where you don't just stick to the plan.
Yeah, but I mean, to put it into perspective, a lot of matches in today's era are very heavily rehearsed.
That's why I don't like today's era.
Yeah, you don't see that too often where matches are basically done on the fly. It just doesn't happen that often.
Well, and how's the product these days, Aaron?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Another one that went against this, what I just said basically.
Rock is pissed off that you're complaining about matches being overly scripted.
Oh, sorry about that. I knocked him over. I'm being very animated today. I'm coming off a graveyard shit filming this, so I'm really awake and like alive. Anyway, Hulk and Rock from WrestleMania 18. Now, being a Hogan fan, you're going to go, wait a minute, he said Hogan twice here. I'm going to say him again, by the way. The crowd reaction to this match was nothing short of phenomenal. For both men, equally, that Hogan was so hated going in, you thought he was going to be, and he got cheered so huge, and The Rock got booed out of the building almost at the Sky Dome. But at the end of the day, the match itself just really wasn't that good a match.
Yeah, I mean, with that match, if you turn the sound off,
exactly.
Hogan was doing back rakes and the crowd was going nuts for it, so they really could have done anything.
Yeah,
and get
Hogan
the
could have stand there and pose 20 minutes, which he did afterwards, and the crowd ate it up because they wanted their Hulkster back, and they got it.
Yeah.
Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. Now 25.
Yeah.
26. It didn't live up to the hype of 25's match. It was good, but it's not as good as the critics have said that it is in the 5 years since. And I think that if both of them had their druthers, they would have both gone out after 25.
Right.
Because Michaels retired on a note that he had lost Unified Tag titles. He became obsessed with beating the streak, and he lost. If it had been just, you know what, mutual understanding, we were both the best we ever were that day, call it a career, it would have been a lot better.
You know what, there is one thing about that match that always bothered me a little bit that brought it down, the whole thing down for me, and that was the fact that, you know, it wasn't Shawn Michaels' fault or WWE's fault or anything, you know, the fact that 2 years earlier Ric Flair retired and then he got back into wrestling. He started wrestling in TNA, and to me, you know, that really took away from the impact of Shawn Michaels retiring. I wasn't exactly buying it. Now, of course, you know, looking back at it now, he did stay retired, but you know, watching it at the time, I was like, is he really going to be gone? He'll be back a year from now.
It's funny you say that because we were talking a whole lot when this retirement went down with Shawn Michaels, but I was legit upset that Flair came out of retirement because I was there.
Yeah.
For his Hall of Fame speech, and I was there in front of with the other 70,000 people at the Citrus Bowl when he retired. I felt like a personal insult to me that you talking about retirement? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I cried for you, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So no, I was pissed. most overrated match, I think, just, and before you scream at me through your computer screen or start tweeting me you're full of shit, go back and watch Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant WrestleMania 3 again. Just go back and watch it. All it was, he hulked up, he tried to slam him, he failed, he got beat on for 10, 15 minutes, he hulked up, he slammed him, he leg dropped him. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, the match was actually, from a technical standpoint, pretty damn bad. I remember Hogan was trying to power drive him or something on the outside, and Andre back body dropped him, and it looked so bad.
Back body dropped him. Yeah. He kind of set him down nice and gently over his head.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
What the fuck, Andre?
It looks so bad.
I get that Andre's back was screwed up. I get that Vince had to, rein him back in through forcible entry pretty much to get him back into the company. But if they're both not ready for something like that, don't do it.
Yeah.
Biggest match of all time or not, don't do it.
Yeah.
Crowd reaction was great. 93,000 people on their feet. But again, like Hogan Rock, you turn the sound off.
Yeah.
It's a shitty match.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with doing these overrated matches. I mean, these are matches that people think of in a high fashion. So, you're going to get some people upset with your picks here.
I'm going to get hate mail for that, for all five of mine, probably, I'm sure.
I'm sure I will, too. So, let me go ahead with my five. I actually think my five are completely different from your five. So, we'll have a top 10 right here. My number one, well, once again, not really in any particular order. My number one, you're going to be upset with me for this one because you listed it as one of your top WrestleMania matches, is the Iron Man match, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 12.
Wow, okay, explain.
You know what? Going 60 minutes is a tremendous feat. I'm not going to deny that. But to be honest, up until the last 10 minutes of that match, I was bored. I mean, I felt that, they were doing a lot of rest holds, and granted, it's a 60-minute match. You have to fill up time. But, I think the crowd hurt that match, too. They seemed pretty bored, and, I remember people that were there in the building said a lot of people were leaving during the match. And, I think that hurt it. Maybe if it was a hotter crowd, it would have been more interesting. Which
is funny looking back because there's very few hotter crowds in California than the Pond.
Yeah.
Anaheim's always been a hot crowd for WWE. Let me ask you, since you put that match on your list, are you more of I honestly don't know this after all these years. Are you more of a technical fan, or are you more of a...
Well, that's the thing.
Fan?
I mean, I think if the crowd was hotter, and maybe if, I really enjoyed the Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle Iron Man match. I think that one was...
We also had TV breaks on that one, too.
And also, with that match, see, this is the thing about that Bret and Shawn match, because on one hand, I like the fact that there were no falls, that neither guy could beat the other one. It made it seem like both of them were unbeatable.
Right.
So in a way, I liked that, but on the other hand, I think if with the falls, you have a little bit more drama, like with Angle and Lesnar, they were trading falls, and that keeps it interesting. When one guy has a fall over the other, I think it keeps you a little bit more invested in the match.
Yeah.
So to me, it's really hard to say, what the right decision would have been. But I liked how it was booked. I just think that with the crowd and the fact that they were doing so many rest holds, I was just kind of bored with it until the last 10 minutes is when it really starts picking up the pace, and to me that's when the match was at its peak.
Do you think if it had been done in the era of Steamboat Flair and like the NWA era, do you think it would have been better received?
I don't know, possibly, or just wasn't the right crowd. I think that those people wanted to see the Ultimate Warrior, and when that was over, that was it for them as far as WrestleMania went.
And that was a minute 12.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, bye, we're going.
Yeah. So moving on here. Right, it's kind of funny here. Triple H isn't going to like this list too much. I have 3 Triple H matches on here for most overrated WrestleMania matches.
Oh my God.
First off,
Triple H.
WrestleMania 18, Triple H versus Chris Jericho.
Really?
Yeah, this this was the final match of the show. First of all, I hated the storyline leading up to this match.
Storyline was hideous.
With the dog, Lucy was the name,
Lucy
I think.
Was the name of the dog,
they built this main event over a friggin' dog. Really? But yeah, this match had the follow-up Hogan and Rock. And I felt that the crowd, once again, they didn't care about this match all that much. And, figuring that it was in Canada and in Chris Jericho's home country, you would have had a better reaction. But yeah, the crowd was pretty much dead for this match, and I just don't feel it had any real memorable moments. You know, Triple H winning was, you know, a big moment, but I don't know. It just, to me...
This is our overrated list we're doing right now?
Yeah, to me...
I'm in trouble later. Okay.
To me, it just felt a bit flat.
Okay.
All right, yeah, this is an interesting list here, and
yeah,
you know, the next video is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Moving on here from WrestleMania 25, Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Oh God, yes.
Having to follow up Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, they just couldn't do it, and to me, they didn't.
I don't think that was the problem with that match. Have you seen Triple H's new DVD, the one that came out about a year and a half ago? The one where he's already COO? Okay, they talk at length about this match. The problem was Vince was still the ultimate decider back then. He was still the guy. Okay, they pigeonholed that match, making it if Triple H gets DQ'd, he loses the championship.
Yeah.
This is after Orton had punted his entire family or RKO'd his wife.
Yeah.
Over the course of 3 weeks leading up to it. And you're telling me I can't go into WrestleMania and beat the shit out of this guy for hurting my family? Or I'm going to lose my title?
It should have been like the brawl to end all brawls.
Should have been no holds barred, winner take all. And then the fact that I had to follow up with that backlash bullshit after to get the title onto Orton. It was a horrible storyline.
Yeah.
And the match itself is very overrated because, you know, people think, oh, it was so brutal. No, it wasn't. Go back and watch that shit for only $9.99 a month, people. Go watch that crap. Horribly told. The biggest dramatic moment of the whole match was when Triple H was walking to the back, throwing kind of over his shoulder. He runs to Vince and Shane. Vince kind of goes, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's the drama of the match right there.
Yeah, and I hated the storyline too with the break-in. You know, I felt that it was like a watered-down PG knockoff of when Brian Pillman went to Austin's house. Yeah. I just wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, the whole storyline of the match were just executed terribly.
All right, so real quickly here, Undertaker versus Triple H, WrestleMania 28, Hell in the Cell. I know a lot of people love the match, and I really enjoyed the post-match with the three of them embracing Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. But the match itself, to me, it was just a complete waste of the Hell in a Cell. I was watching that match, I'm like, they didn't really do anything with the cell. You know, they would have been better off just not having a Hell in the Cell match. They did nothing really with the cage. You know, it was more about Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. They should have just done the match with Michaels as the guest referee. Having it at Hell in a Cell, I mean, it served no purpose. And to me, I never really felt in that match that Undertaker's streak was in jeopardy of ending. And I think that was the big problem with that match. You know, I felt that in the end, Undertaker was going to win. So it's just, to me personally, I didn't feel that there was a chance Undertaker was losing. So
that's so funny because I remember talking about this on the other channel I worked on, and I was caught up in that entire. I was at JJ's house, caught up. I was in tears, like legit in tears, Aaron, over the super kick and then the pedigree and then just like Michael's reactions to everything got me caught up in everything. I was messed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I run the website and you know, I just didn't sense that Triple H would be the one in the streak, but I don't know. I just didn't buy into it. So you know, I know a lot of people like that match. You know, it's hard to criticize that one. Yeah. All right, so there you have it. That's our top 10 most overrated matches. So very interested to see the comments from you guys. And
can't we do underrated now because I'm in trouble?
Oh yeah, so stay tuned. It's gonna get even better.